Hi guys, how's it going? Who wants to talk Discovery? Labyrinths. Hope everyone is well tonight. Have I started? I have started early. Of course I have. That's okay. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Better than late, that's for sure. All right. So, Trekyard is here. Ozzy is here. Yes, Shuttle Bay door was closed, yes. Shuttle Bay door was open during last... That's because she said open the Shuttle Bay door to eject everything out of the Shuttle Bay, essentially, so that there would be debris when they... Joe Brown, Burnham cried. Mark your bingo cards, everyone. We do have Discovery bingo cards. So, yes, absolutely. Go mark your bingo cards. Why'd you start early? I usually start a couple minutes early. That's why. Please excuse the disheveled hair. It's fine. Brian Adamson. For the most part, not a bad episode. Joseph Roberto. I rather enjoyed this one. Not the best, but not the worst. I found this one incredibly drawn out. And kind of boring in spots. I've seen it 3 times now, and yeah, it was 57 minutes long. It did not need to be 57 minutes long. I was hoping for more to happen in that amount of time, but I gotta say, I do like the archivist. She was very cute and very bubbly personality, quirky, as it were. So yeah, I like that aspect of it. But anyway, Trek or not, sensors don't work, but everything else does. Yep. James Mustard. Awesome to see the 3rd appearance of the Afrosians. Yes, they were in Star Trek 4 and Star Trek 6. Good updated look since the Federation president from Star Trek 6, Kurtwood Smith's character. Joseph Meditz. This season has been a roller coaster with the good and not so good episodes. So what do you consider this one, Joseph? Oh, not the best, but not the worst. Gotcha. I already read your comment about that. Paul Hitchcock. Ejecting everything from the shuttle bay to give the appearance that the ship was destroyed was a very Obi-Wan move by Burnham. I mean, it's been done before many times, many different franchises, as well as Star Trek, I believe. Leave some debris, but not enough to... It's happened before, too. There's not enough debris to warrant that was an actual ship. So, not a band account, $2. When do we get Star Trek Discovery, the motion picture? Never. Brian, the transporters worked for once. They did. Thank goodness. Purchase Achieva. Oh, you like books? Have all the books in the world. Yeah, well, that's at the University of Toronto, that library. Of course, they did set extensions and stuff, but that's where it was filmed. Project Achieva. You would think transporters would not work in the Badlands. You would think that, wouldn't you? However, here we are. The Badlands visual update didn't need to be done, I don't think. That was kind of an odd choice, but it's fine. Donnie is here. Hello, Cap. Hello, Donnie. Joseph. Well, I like this one, so it's a good one, but agree with you, it was stretched out. Yeah, it was a little too much. Although, that being said, the actor who plays Book did a fantastic job with that role. I loved him in that role. I thought that was really fantastic. So, yes, he did a fantastic job. Burnham did as well for her acting part, but yes, it's back to Michael Burnham is the most important thing ever. Again, unfortunately. And it's also crying, as I knew somebody was going to mention that. So, anyway. Scottish Nightmare. These episodes, the last few weeks, have been rather dull. Not really much to talk about. 100% true. This one is not going to be a long one for me to discuss. So whatever you guys want to talk about in regards to this episode, feel free to comment and I will address it. By the way, guys, 39 of you here, 13 likes. Hit that like button if you're just joining us. I'd like to get those likes up to 40 if possible, and that should not be a problem. So, but thank you for joining us, me, and talking about this. If you want to join me and Sam tomorrow talking about the full breakdown and review, we do scene by scene. So tune in for that. It'll be at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So don't miss it. I was going to say be there, be square, but not a band account. Does this top-notch writing have you excited for the Section 31 show? No. Paul Hitchcock, do you think the Discovery will be destroyed in the final episode? No, I don't. I don't think that at all. Maddie Lynn, hi. In my opinion, this was the most boring episode yet in this season. I can see, yeah. I mean, we filmed our edited review earlier today. That'll be out tomorrow afternoon. But yeah, I said the same thing. It was very waiting for something to happen episode. And as much as there was some well-written dialogue and acting in this one, it just wasn't firing on all cylinders for me. So I'm not the biggest fan of this episode. And is it the slowest of the season? I mean, probably. Fleetpaw, $2. Have no fear. Fleetpaw is here. Decent episode today. Well, there you go. Hot Rod says, this episode was a good one, a good use of practical location, the Thomas Fisher Rare Book Library at the University of Toronto. Yes, absolutely. Joseph says, so is Maul like in charge of the Breen now? Well, that sect, I would think, yes. Yeah, because she is married to the Scion. That's it. So yeah, I think so. That's what they're kind of going with. Brian, was the Dreadnought smaller this time? Certainly seems smaller, yes. Yeah, that's something that we didn't really address, but I'm sure we will tomorrow when we do our live review and breakdown. Yeah, it definitely seemed a lot smaller. So, Olivia, $5. I had an experience just like what happened in this episode, only it was Fleetpaw that was supposed to help me, and he kept saying, that's a stupid question. You sure that wasn't Admiral Patrick? Anyway, I'm in my library today. Is there a book you'd like to see? An original manuscript? It's jarring how weak Starfleet feel. No support at all. Yeah. Flamethrowers on the bridge, yes, and in engineering as well. The Scottish Nightmare. Why was there a blue ZPM in that library? Good question. Because Trek or not, could have maybe done more with the test thing. Sure. Loved her thing for sorting out the maze issue. An endless bucket of sand. I have no problem with that, considering it's kind of a mythical thing of sand. That's fine. But of the Pac-Man display as well. I thought she goes from like 57% done to 99% done, like pretty instantly. Hi guys, lay down. You're so cute, all of you. Except for you. Hi. Oh, hi. Hi. Sorry, we have a pug parade here. I know, it's so exciting. You gotta lay down though. Yeah, just lay down. You guys want to say hello to the pugs? I don't know if you do or not, but you're going to. The pugs and the chihuahua. Everybody came up to spend time with me. Hi, Dot. Yes, I know. Hi. Want to say hi to everybody? Yeah, so there you go. Now you got your pug fix, and hope you feel better. Hey, Feed Me Seymour, how's it going? Joseph Barbato, the Reno stuff was funny when she was loving Stamets and Adira finishing their sentences. Yes, not finishing their sentences. They said the exact same thing at the exact same time. That's different than finishing sentences. Peter Lecoco, $5. Last clue turned the puzzle into Amazon. Oh, that was the secret to all-knowing knowledge. Yes, I can't even read that super chat because it'll set off the thing that's in the room. The Atom 159, yet another week with no Saru. I know they didn't know this was the final season, but it's sad. I thought the exact same thing this week. I thought, wow, it's amazing how little Saru is in this season, and it is sad. Hopefully there's a good send-off, though, because I know that they didn't know going into this season that was the final one, but they did get word that they were canceled, so they did call them back to do more filming. So, and guys, 42 people here and only 19 likes. We're not even halfway yet for likes. Come on, hit the like button, guys. It's easy to do. Looks like a thumb, like that, right? Maddie says, when is Maul going to admit she's pregnant with this the Scion's child? Good question. I never even really considered that, but yeah, I think that's probably a revelation that's going to come out because that would make amazing sense, actually. Fleet Paw, can we talk about the other named Breen this episode? Thoughts? Seems like maybe an undercover Starfleet officer, maybe Non, perhaps? Ooh, interesting. Yeah, because I found it odd that, Maul gets all the Breen to the yard because her gel is better than, I don't know. Anyway, that one guy I really like, and he kind of fidgety as well. A lot of scenes where he's standing beside her, he's fidgeting. It'd be interesting if it was Non. It's not going to be because that's way too clever for Discovery to do. But oh, it's not Saru. Definitely not. Nah, it's not Saru. Very optimistic of you to think that, Fleetpaw. Feed Me Seymour. I bet the progenitor tech is hidden on Earth. Just a thought, but the Federation hid the clues. Makes sense. They would hide it in plain sight so they can monitor it. Yeah, that'd be great. Now, speaking of Earth, I want to speak of Quajan for a second. He had the world route now. So I have a feeling that progenitor tech is going to bring back Quajan in some form. That's my call. Trek or not, also the big lightning bolt weapon seems out of place, more like something from Bride of Chaotica. It was cool to see, though. That was neat. Plus the tunneling tech for the transporter, I like that too. That was pretty cool. Neil Hammersmith, where are the regular Khan and Helm ladies? Wait, you mean Detmer and Oa? They are on the Enterprise, Mirror Universe Enterprise, taking it to Starfleet storage. Probably lumping across quadrants or sectors because they can't. The ship was damaged. I don't know. I don't know why they did that. And even the one girl, the Bajoran lady, was there at Helm this week, but the other one was replaced by somebody else. It's like, stop diversifying your bridge crew now. You didn't spend enough time on the other ones. They deserve it this season. Again, didn't know it was going to be their final season, I guess. So, Paul Hitchcock, do you think we will get a face turn by Maul in the last episode? I feel as long as Locke can't be revived, she'll be willing to walk away from the progenitor tech. Yes, I do. I've kind of called that last week when she was going with the Breen, that it's going to, and she seemed pretty upset that Discovery is destroyed. So yeah, I think we will get something like that, especially when she finds out if Locke can't be revived. then it's going to be revealed that she's pregnant and she's going to be the new leader of the Breen, or at least this faction of the Breen. So, but yes, I think it will turn it around so that she helps out Book and the people on Discovery. The Scottish Nightmare. I thought them going on about the Dominion War would lead to something interesting. So did I. It didn't. Phoebe Seymour, the episode was called Labyrinths. They should have made Dream Booker Jared remind me of the Babe. What Babe? Yeah. No Jennifer Connelly. You know. Yeah. It's actually called Labyrinths. Labyrinths of the Mind. Neil Hammersmith, happy belated birthday and hail Kaon. Well, it's not belated because my birthday is not till May 28th, so you're actually early. But yes, hail Kaon. Phoebe Seymour, the Pug Collective, you will be snorinated. Accurate. They're lying down now. For the Cylon, or Scion. Paul Hitchcock, ain't no party like a pug party because a pug party don't stop. It does, though. It always stops because they fall asleep, you see. Fleet Paw, $2. A Treato for the puggies and the dog Dot. Sergeant Montgomery, if there was a 6th season, Book would have resurrected Quajon because the Federation would have forbidden progenitor tech in the future, tying in Calypso. Sucks they are cramming in rewrites at the end. That's an interesting thought. Action Saru with Kelpian grip. Next episode directed by Jonathan Frakes, Lagrange Point. Nice. The Scottish Nightmare, all this fuss to get the tech when they could just use a Genesis device. Genesis? Yes, Genesis. How can you be deaf with a name like that? Fleet Paw, smack that like or I'll use my neural truncheon on you. Hit the like. 47 people here, 25 likes. We're getting up there, but I want to get to 40 likes. It should be no problem at all. It should be barely an inconvenience. Is she with child? Probably. Yes, Ozzy. I think she probably will be. Good call on, was it Maddie that said that? I think so. Yeah, Maddie. Yeah, I never really considered that, but yeah, that makes perfect sense considering that he's the rightful heir to the throne. Therefore, so is her child. Also, big oopsie, they spore jumped out, but not in. Yes. Yes. Phoebe Seymour, here's a thought. Maul and Locke sound a bit like Monarch and Monarch, and he is a monarch, sort of. But you also have monarch butterflies and transformation from caterpillars to butterfly. Sure, yeah. Mark Lawrence is here, $5. Hi, Mark. How's it going? So now that Book has a piece of the world root, maybe he'll want to use the progenitor tech to create another one. And you just said it too. Yep. It's fucking only thing I thought of when I saw that. I'm like, oh, that's where that's going. They're going to be able to revive Quajon, at least the planet, not everybody on it, because it'll just be stupid. And you're not going to be able to revive Locke, would be my guess. But Phoebe Seymour is something not to think about. It's amazing that 10C managed to destroy all those worlds, except every world the clue was on. The 10C are the progenitors. I don't know. Mark Lawrence, that library was a beautiful location. I really want to visit it. Yeah, it's in Toronto. It's at the University of Toronto. So, Maddie Lynn, interesting in the final season, and we get more of Jet Reno than we had all series. Yep. Breen Queen. That's too funny, actually. Trek or not, I also thought the library lady was a hologram at first due to her awesome quirkiness. Yeah, I think she was also pregnant. I think that actress was pregnant. Just when she stood with her hands on her belly, plus a lot of the shots of her from the side and stuff, you could see it looked like a baby bump. So, Ozzy, it's almost Super Captain Foley's birthday. That's true. Fleet Paw, $5. Throwaway crew pisses me off. Recent command, though, good choice. I think that's the most lines he's gotten all 5 seasons. Academy spot for him, maybe? Oh, that would be awesome. I would love that, actually. He is a good character, and I do like him. I have met the actor, met him in Vegas. He had watched Trekyards, him and the Bryce actor as well. So, yeah, that'd be cool. Feed Me Seymour, this is going to be a one-wish only thing, I reckon. They'll have to choose, I reckon. It will be the Booker's people, I reckon. Luke or a third option, most likely, I reckon. Stamets because of the hologram brain scan thing, I reckon. Booker's people get resurrect. Ed. Yes. I can see it being a one-wish type of deal, for sure. The Scottish Nightmare, not a fan of having the Breen speaking standard. I wouldn't even give them subtitles. Dustin D, I am pissed off as Discovery 8 episode, season 5, and no on-screen of ITC Kayla Detmer. What? That is crap. Lieutenant Commander Kayla Detmer. I could do without Kayla Detmer. I'm not a huge fan, but I still think she should have been in this season. So, Sergeant Montgomery, what is the significance of the Breen Mall kept looking at? He's just somebody that believes in the Scion and wants to see the Scion return back to life, would be my guess. But yes, they did not really lead into that well. It's just all of a sudden there's another Breen that's got the hots for Maul, it looks like. Or at least, had respect for Locke. But yeah, that wasn't handled well. I mean, it might be a good reveal. Somebody, I think Sleepa said earlier that it could be like an undercover agent, maybe even fucking quiet. Anyway, Trekyard, couldn't the Disco do the multi-spore jump thing to attack the Dreadnought like they did with Charon? I think that took a lot out of Stamets, and yes, they could. And they should have, yes. Feed Me Seymour, all I'm saying is if 10C destroyed one of those worlds, then this whole season wouldn't exist. Lucky that. Yeah. Well, for all the clues to stay intact for 800 years was a stretch in and of itself. So, Fleetpaw, they did that with the sarcophagus, not the Charon. Yes, it was the sarcophagus ship. Podgecock, do you think we'll see a peace treaty between the Federation and the Breen hegemony in the final episode? Seems like a nice big event to end on in universe-wise. Yeah, I do actually. I do think that'll be a thing. That'd be a good wrap-up to all Discovery. Everybody's at peace now because everybody gets a message from the progenitors saying, bruh, you're all related. So we're taking away your ability to fight now. You're all got to be at peace. That'd be fine. And it's perfect end to Star Trek as a whole. Not that I want Star Trek to end, but that far in the future, all of a sudden there's galactic peace. Brian Adamson. So what is the next episode supposed to be about? I'm not sure. Haven't looked into a synopsis or any trailers or sneak peeks yet. So Trek or not sure where I got the Charon from. Brain fart. Feed Me Seymour. The tradition for turning Hawaii 5-0 is you have to grow a Tom Selleck stash. You have time. Well, Tom Selleck was Magnum PI, not Hawaii 5-0. So, Scottish Nightmare, all those theories are just making me think of Dragon Ball. Never watched it. Don't care. Fleetpaw. The Chiron was Giorgio's flagship in the Mirror Universe, so it is a thing, Trek or not. Oh yeah, I know. I just mixed them up in my head. There you go. All sorted now, hopefully. Feed Me Seymour, or just didn't like the Primarch. Sure. Oh, the other Breen guy? Well, that was highlighted very well in this episode, actually. All of his disregards for the Breen culture and their belief systems, and not caring about his crew. All he wants is this power now. He wants the progenitor tech. He doesn't care if he breaks, a trusted vow that he made with somebody, or destroy, because there's Breen stuff on that library as well. So, yeah, I think that was played very well by Maul, actually. So, I kind of like that. Cylon, by your command. Having wine does that to me. Oh, getting things mixed up. Feed Me Seymour. Maul was like, why do you Breen follow him? He's Hitler. Joseph Barbato. Uh-oh. Quiet is causing trouble. Just fucking annoying, that's all. Fleetpaw. $2. We haven't had one in a while. Quiet. Feed Me Seymour. Where are the Klingons? I mean, they are part of the season 1 and 2, and 800 years later, they vanish with no mention of them. Yeah, I know. We've been wanting to hear an update on the Klingons for a while now, and are we going to get it? Nope, absolutely we're not going to get it, so it's fine. Scottish Nightmare. I did find it a bit odd that a 32nd century retrofitted ship was getting that battered in the Badlands. Yes, I agree, considering Voyager could do it. The Defiant just hangs out in the Badlands sometimes, waiting for Eddington and stuff. So, yeah. Trek or not, it's quite a coincidence with your book, Vids Cap, and this week we get a huge space library. Speaking of, I got to film chapter 4 of Shelf by Shelf. It's going to be a good one. Fleetpaw. They were embarrassed, lol. Strangely, worlds can keep them. They did a better job at betraying them, and the Klingons probably either went extinct or withdrew after the burn. The Atom 159. Yes, I know Discovery's redesigned Klingons were controversial, to say the least, but it would be nice to at least see what they're up to 800 years in the future. We need some closure to them. Do we, though? I don't think we do necessarily, so it's fine. Possible the Klingons declined tech-wise, couldn't keep up. Maybe significantly less advanced in the future compared with other races, perhaps. Yeah. Maybe they got wiped out by, maybe the Herc came back. Pellichcock, speaking of Hawaii 5-0, was Jack Lord almost Kirk or almost Pike? Jack Lloyd was almost Kirk. Yes. And Richard Mathew was almost Spock. But yes, it was Jack Lord. That was almost Kirk. Hawk Stringfellow, the show is all iver. Sure. It's all over the place. Feed Me Seymour. Or the Klingons regained that disease that turned them human-looking, so they have been there for the whole time, but we haven't recognized them because they look human. That's funny. There you go. Ozzy, maybe the Klingons' last episode. Nah. No. Sergeant Montgomery, hope we got an answer to the Vadrash mentioned in Calypso. Been pondering their existence ever since. Ooh. I like that. You know what? Because Kraft, that was his name, Kraft in Calypso, had tattoos, and one was like an owl, like connected with nature. And what if Kraft is from the reborn Quajon. So he's not really a Quajon. He's like, hmm. Paul Hitchcock, wasn't the librarian custodian a Klingon? No, she was not. It was mentioned earlier in this chat what she was. She's the same race as the president of the Federation in Star Trek 6. And yeah, we've seen them in Star Trek 4 and Star Trek 6, which is odd because originally those guys were Deltans. Yes, Deltans. And there's a comic that has Deltans, and all the females are bald. All the men have the white hair and the white mustache. So, but yeah, somebody put in the chat the name of her race. It's not. She wasn't a Klingon. I understand that you think she looked Klingon, but she was not Klingon. Mark Lawrence, maybe the Badlands have gotten worse. Yeah, that's what the argument I made to Sam when we did a video on the Badlands, which you'll see soon. And I said, storms have ebbs and flows, and this is a plasma storm. So it could be it's just at a very hot point right now, and it's much different than it was. So, Phoebe Seymour, one thing that annoyed me about this episode, no 32nd Century Deep Space Nine flyby. I mean, Badlands isn't far from it. They could have made a passing visit. Fleetpaw. Afrosian, Paul Hitchcock, like the Fred predicted. You mean like the Federation president in Undiscovered Country. Mark Lawrence, a book went to visit the librarian. More like a book went to check out that librarian. She was cute. She was cute, yes. Hawk Stringfellow, hey, is Discovery still sentient, or did they just forget about that? Sora is still sentient. Yes, that is the name of the computer. And yes, it's been used multiple times this season, so they did not forget about it. No. Just Barbado, what if Kraft was Burnham and Book's kid from the future? That'd be great. Efrosian, that's her race. Yes, Efrosian. Trekkernaut, we don't know how long Book's people live. Maybe Kraft is his and Burnham's sons. Still possible, I suppose. It is absolutely possible. Could have been the final clue with the prophets. Phoebe Seymour, think in order to use the progenitor tech, there will be a sacrifice, and I figure Burnham, Stamets, and maybe even Booker sacrificed to bring back Booker's people. Think about it. No, I've said since the beginning of this season that there's probably going to be some kind of somebody has to sacrifice themselves, and it's either going to be Stamets because he's upset with being just a scientific luminary with his work going nowhere. Now that we got Culber with the whole feeling off and spiritual thing going on, could be him. It could be something like that. Yes, I totally think that could be a thing. Yeah, Afrosian, not Afrosian. Jeez Louise. Phoebe Seymour, if Booker and Stamets dies, nobody to do spore travel. True. Paul Hitchcock, calling it now. The Tribbles took their revenge on the Klingons in the 27th century. Yes, the Tribbles did in fact grow legs and spiny protrusions, and they annihilated the Klingons. Commentary 101. Nice to see another live. Nice to see you here as well. I do lives every week, pretty much. So, welcome. Phoebe Seymour, makes Discovery abandoned makes sense. In Calypso, if Booker and Stamets died, then the ship is no use anymore. Sure, but it doesn't make sense, though, because the Discovery in Calypso is the old pre-refit Discovery. So, White Wolf says, Star Trek Discovery could have been significantly better if the writers were true Trekkies. You're not wrong. Even some of the writers this season we've looked at their writing credits, and they've done like high school dramas and shit, and it's like, yes, you're not even the writers, just the fucking team that's working on it. Just have people that are Trekkies that know their Trek lore and their Trek canon, and incorporate that. And yes, I totally agree. Sergeant Montgomery, whatever race she is, she'll always be known as Poe to me. I feel there was a missed opportunity when Michael came across the card catalog and didn't mention the decimal system. I know, I was expecting the same thing, the Dewey Decimal System. Yeah, I was expecting that too. I used to work in a library. It was like my second job. My first job was at McDonald's. I worked there for 3 months, and then I got a job at the Stratford Library and worked there for like 3 or 4 years. So yes, I'm well aware of the Dewey Decimal System. Trek or not, what if the tech must be first destroyed in order to create? If it must first destroy in order to create. Yeah, and on a scale system. Like if you want to create a planet, you got to destroy a planet. If you want to create or bring a person back to life, you got to sacrifice a person. It's kind of shitty tech then, but still, I could see it being a thing. Commentary 101. Wonder if we will ever get, or if we will get a Kovich true villain reveal or something. I don't think so. I don't think so. Phoebe Seymour, you could resurrect Stamets as a hologram, but he wouldn't be able to pilot Discovery. Trek or not, last of the ancient people destroyed themselves to create something new. Ooh, beautiful. Miguel.com, I don't really see what the big deal is with progenitor tech. I wish they'd flesh out why it was it's a threat. I mean, did you watch The Chase, the TNG episode The Chase? They created life, like humanoid life, in the entire galaxy. It's pretty powerful tech. So, but yes, as a threat, I mean, as a matter of cosmic history, it has always been easier to destroy than to create. Anyway. Surge says, so there's only 2 episodes left. If so, they better crank it out these last 2. Yes, there are only 2 episodes left. White Wolf, it's sad since the CG could have been better too. Lots of lost opportunity. Hope for a better life for the IP. The IP is fine, my bro. The IP is fine. Discovery is not the only new Star Trek. Well, I say that, but Prodigy still has season 2 to come out on Netflix. Lower Decks was doing fantastic until this fall is its final season. You still got Strange New Worlds. You know, Picard did good in its final season. The IP's fine, my friend. Don't worry about the IP. Yes, Helldriver tribbles on Kronos. Fleetpaw, ooh, what if that skittish brain is Kovich instead of Non? That would be freaking sick. That would be cool. See, the thing with the brain, they can be anybody with those helmets, right? So, Phoebe Seymour, if the Pakled Thermian Alliance appears in a Star Trek episode, it would be the best episode yet. But then we will know they are using Chat GPT to write episodes. White Wolf, for real, man. Spock is a Giga Chad in the original series. The fuck is a Giga Chad? Trek or not, it's insane that didn't involve the original team behind the 80s and 90s Trek. I know. Rest easy, Leonard. Yes. I thought a Chad was a bad thing, so Giga Chad would be like a total bad thing. I don't know. I guess I'm too old. That's fine. The Adam 159. Can't believe there's only 2 episodes left. They really want to step it up the last 2. Next week's is Frakes, which does give me hope it will be a good episode. He doesn't disappoint. Yeah, but he can only work with what he's given. And yes, he has done some good directing on Discovery. There's been 1 or 2 of his that have not been the best, but generally the ones that he does are really good because he knows Star Trek. Project Achieva, the writers were like, yes, a literal library with actual books in space. Mark Lawrence, them not mentioning the Dewey Decimal System irks me because I am a Dewey. Fleet Paw, White Wolf, we use the appropriate abbreviation for discovery here at DISC. Here, please refrain from using that one because it isn't a thing. It isn't a thing. Feed Me Seymour, Kovich could be Mirror Universe. He has a fascination towards them and he wears glasses. What if their purpose was actually to help with light sensitive? No, for fuck's sakes, no. They probably kicked out the Trekkies like they kicked out the Lord of the Rings lore masters for Rings of Power. Feed Me Seymour. I'm going to go back to that last one. Brian. No, it's actually Brian Fuller, who was the one that started Discovery, actually said Klingons have to look different. Ships can't have cylindrical nacelles. I want everything to be different. We don't want to have anybody that's like worked on former Trek kind of deal. Same thing that JJ did. I mean, there were people that got in, but anyway. Feed Me Seymour. And he's stuck in this world because Mirror World and Disco Prime separated too much and he can't get home. Perfect. I'm fine with that, actually. Zachary Gibbons, I just finished watching Discovery. It was an okay episode, but I think it could have been better if at least move the plot forward. Yeah, I agree. Hot Rod says the only 2 episodes left of Disco. What other Trek will we see this year? Because Section 31? I actually can't wait to see what. No, Section 31 won't be this year. It'll be next year, probably late next year. I actually can't wait to see what they are doing with Rachel Garrett in the Lost Era. Casey Roll is perfect casting. Nice. Hawk Stringfellow. I thought it was Iconian tech. Would have been great, more interesting. Hey, Generation Productions is here. How's it going, Dan? Trek or not? To be fair, Disco is screen correct. Star Trek Disco. Yes. I'm 28 and met William Shatner twice. Giga Chad is a good thing. Okay, cool. I've met William Shatner 3 times myself, so ha. Generation Productions. The term Giga Chad is a slang term used to describe someone who is extremely physically attractive and muscular. The word is derived from the combination of word giga and meaning huge or large, and Chad, which is a popular term used to describe a good-looking man. I thought a Chad was like a dumb jock kind of thing. That's okay. Terrence Child is here. Maryland in the house. Represent. Hey, Jadzia saw that. Yeah, did you know that Jadzia, or Terry Farrell, the actress that played Jadzia, is actually married now to Adam Nimoy, which is Leonard Nimoy's son, which is weird because in Trials and Tribulations, she's like, oh, no, not Kirk, Spock. Protomatter, an unstable substance which every ethical science in the galaxy has denounced as dangerously unpredictable. Yes. What does that have to do with anything we're talking about? Hawk. What is Adira's job on the show? No fucking idea, dude. And they completely forgot that she has a symbiote in her. Like, she's got a couple 100-year-old symbiote, more than a couple 100 years old, symbiote in her. Like, she should be like Jadzia doing the science, you know? But they completely forgot about that, apparently. Marvin R. This season seemed lifted straight from Stargate SG-1. Scientists are the creators of humanoid life, just like the progenitors, and they used a similar dangerous tech, destroying replicators in SG-1. Yes. Mark Lawrence, off topic. We need Cedar Fair to pull the Star Trek experience out of mothballs and put it up somewhere. Should be able to get the license pretty cheap. Update the CGI and it'll be sharp. Optimistic thinking, Mark, but yeah. White Wolf, yeah, we just want to boldly go where no man has gone before. Adira replaced Tilly, I think. Yes, she did. Stringfellow says, feed me, Seymour. What's... Oh. Well, if you don't know by now, I don't know how to help you out there. JJ's films weren't bad. I think Action Star Trek has had its own good spot. If you can divorce your brain from the fact that it's Star Trek and just enjoy it for what it is, yeah, it's a pretty good action flick, honestly. It just has nothing to do with Star Trek, and that's fine. That's fine. It's fine in its own thing. Feed Me Seymour. I always felt Discovery and Strange New Worlds is Kelvin inspired. Discovery for sure. Strange New Worlds, not really. Trek or not, just treat JJ films as its own universe and it's all good. Yep. Beyond was good. Beyond was the only, yeah, it was the best of the three films for sure. Surge, wonder what Gene Roddenberry would think of Disco. That's a whole discussion I'm not going to get into. Donnie says, Beyond is my #1 Kelvin timeline movie, but your mileage may vary. No, I agree. Beyond is the best one. Feed Me Seymour. Here's a thought. I know they're not connected, but do you reckon George Kirk's father of Jim and Sam could appear in Strange New Worlds? I mean, he briefly appears in Kelvin where he died, but he could. Sure, he absolutely could be alive in the Disco Strange New Worlds universe. Yep, he could. He's not going to, but he could. Terrence Childs, I have been watching Venom Geek Media 98 all day today. If you haven't seen any of his videos, you are doing yourself a true disservice by not watching them. Okay, I have seen some of their stuff, but are you their PR manager? Because it sure sounds like it sometimes. It's important to remember that Gene had to be reined in on TNG. Yeah, that's where I was going with that. And he hated Star Trek 6. But anyway. Generation Productions, yeah. It was meaning a jock or jerk, but then the word Chad was changed. LOL. A too gooder word for jocks and jerk. Okay. Fleetpaw, there were several. We don't have to keep bringing that up. Feed Me Seymour. Imagine Gene Roddenberry returns from beyond the grave, states his dislikes TNG, DS9, Voyager, but thinks Disco and Strange New Worlds are perfect. He would not. And he hated Deep Space Nine as well. But that's... Wait a minute. Did he die before Deep Space Nine? I know he died like 2 weeks after seeing a screening of Star Trek 6. Might have been too early for just Deep Space Nine. He absolutely would not have liked Deep Space Nine. Zachary Gibbons, I think the risks should have been higher than to get the final clue, not to just admit the fear of failure. I felt like it was meh, as in too easy to get the final clue. I totally agree. Paul Hitchcock, have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Fuller, the wise? He wanted no previous Trek writers on Discovery, and then he, a previous Trek writer, was fired. Ironic. Trek or not. P.S. Cap currently packing your box. No pun intended. Is it a euphemism? Because that sounds really awful. My box is downstairs in bed. That sounded even worse. Feed Me Seymour. I would like to see a J.J. Abrams take on DNG era. I mean, I'm not saying it's Prime as its only universe, but I would have been interested to see what it would look like. Jay Aldridge, I thought Terry Farrell filed divorce. Maybe she did. I don't know. I don't pay attention to the lives of people because it's not my business. The Atom says the films are usually more action-oriented than the shows. They have to attract casuals, not just hardcore Trek fans. Carl Urban was perfectly cast, totally nailed McCoy. I met him at a con. Yes, he was perfect for McCoy. Fleet Pa, feed me. Enterprise D is 10 kilometers long, and John Luke is Brazilian. Oh, if JJ did that, yeah. I was going to say, Enterprise is not 10 kilometers, but yes. Ozzy, Star Trek 6 Undiscovered Country was awesome. Bones, where's my damn torpedo? He died in 91, 2 years before DS9. Okay, yeah. He wouldn't have approved of it. But yeah. Phoebe Seymour, how George Kirk could appear in Strange New Worlds, the final season episode or two before final. George goes to Kirk, need your help with your brother. Episode on that ending as Kirk gets Enterprise. Sure. Trek or not, serious lack of neural interfaces in the future, as well, which is weird, and no one uses a hologram avatar bodies. Seems like seems like they forgot a lot of tech. Also the phase through walls tech and the transphasic torpedoes. My God, man. Gestrel says, can't wait for this to be over. I have no attachment to these characters or storylines. I've hung in there as a fan, but let's fly to the last episode, predicting endless fake tears. Yes. Tyners and hey, Captain, watch the scene where Maul shoots the Primarch. He's on his stomach, then back, then stomach, and on his back again. Each camera view. Nice. You notice when she fired, she didn't put her hand down where the trigger is, because it's like a gun. It's like the Mandalorian's gun, essentially, that long one. She just, I mean, I'm sure there's probably another way to fire it, but it just seemed kind of stupid. I didn't notice that. We'll have to talk about that on our live breakdown and review tomorrow. So if you can join us 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, please do so. By the way, 53 of you here, which is awesome. 37 likes. That's also pretty good, but I think we can do better. I still want to get to 40, so hit that like button if you haven't already. I'd appreciate it. Zachary, a JJ Enterprise D would be too big to fit on the movie screen. Not a bad account. Star Trek Generations was as bad as Nemesis. They killed Rene Picard off screen for no good reason. Yes. Paul Hitchcock. Burnham has said that he spoke with Roddenberry about Deep Space Nine before he passed away, and Roddenberry supported it, but a lot of people question whether that actually happened. Well, he would have pitched it a little bit differently, I think, to Gene. He would have said it's about a space station on the edge of known space with this gateway to another quadrant. So it'd be like a frontier type show where it'd be new, and they'd be coming to you, though. You wouldn't be flying a ship there. Not mentioning the dark tones of it. Not a band account. When do we get a 32nd century Enterprise? Never. Feed me Seymour. Maul, this is the way. Q Mandalorian end credit theme. I'll try to catch tomorrow before the thumbs up remind you. I'll try to catch tomorrow before the like remind you to look. Yes, please remind me to look for it. Yeah, I don't think we'll miss it necessarily when we're talking about that, although it's right at the very end, and sometimes when we're running a little over time, we might kind of, I don't know, but thank you. If you can join in and watch, I'd appreciate it. So, Fleet Pal member for 49 months at the rank of Commander. Thank you, Commander. I'm going to say this. In 10 years, Discovery is probably going to get the Enterprise chain rate, meaning that we're going to look back at Discovery and find that it wasn't nearly as bad as we thought. It will grow on us as Enterprise did. Yeah, probably. Not a band account. Did Paramount steal Deep Space Nine from Michael J. Skrzynowski? Project Achieva. Are we to believe the Oa and Detmer are by themselves limping through the universe through hostile space with no escort? Yes. Australia's Not Real is here. Throws in $2. I love Deep Space Nine. Yeah. That's actually funny. After me and Sylvia watched tonight's episode of Discovery, she's like, we don't watch Deep Space Nine anymore. I don't want to watch Deep Space Nine. So we watched the first 2 episodes of Deep Space Nine right before this live. So, yeah. Surge. Surge. I usually don't screw that up, so I apologize. I got my fingers crossed for the Enterprise 1701Z appearance next week. Not a band account gifted 1 Trekyards membership. So I'd like to welcome Feed Me Seymour. Oh, Feed Me Seymour, welcome to the channel. The Adam says, yeah, I remember the Trek forums when Enterprise was on the air. It was a war zone. Nowadays, Enterprises look back at more favorably. Yes, I was one of those people that didn't like Enterprise. It broke too much of the canon, or even beta, or established head canon leading up to that. It broke way too much of it. It went too far out of the way. And then season 3, when they brought in the Zindi, it's like, why? You have other species you could use. In Starfleet battles, there's a race exactly like the Zindi that have 5 different races incorporated into them, and they're called the Interstellar Concordium. Use that. Oh, you don't want to pay the guy that invented that any kind of royalties, so you're going to do your own. Fuck you guys, is how I saw it. And then season 4 came out, and it's like, okay, now they're course correcting. Now they're like, okay, canon, boom, almost close, getting there. But they knew it was their final season, so they had a bunch of time to kind of steer the ship right. So Mark Lawrence, 3 Enterprises per century could put us at about W to Z. Feed Me Seymour is like, ooh, you gifted a membership. I'm honored. Well, wasn't me. It's not a band account. Zachary Gibbons, I don't know. I will miss some of the characters of Discovery. Saru was good. Burnham grew on me when she became captain. Culber and Stamets grew. Stamets was written as a dick in the beginning. I fucking love Stamets from season 1. I fucking love that. I love his attitude in season 1. I love that they addressed that in this season, where it's like, yeah, I used to be a little bit more snarky pre-tardigrade DNA. More surly, I think he said, something like that. Feed Me Seymour, I'm sat in my chair now saying power, ultimate power. Paul Hitchcock, I think the Enterprises in the 31st century would be on double letters at this point. Fingers crossed for the NCC 1701 double D. And yes, I am a child. Yes, double Ds. Hawk, Stringfellow, I disagree. There is no character building. The cast goes from one season to another. We don't know the characters' hobbies, where they are just empty for me. No, I can definitely see that. They don't. That's the problem with only having 10 fucking episodes, as opposed to old Trek, which had 24 episodes per season. You're less than half the amount of screen time, and when you're focusing on one character, Burnham, it's very hard to establish characters. So yes. Not a band account. What are the odds Captain Burnham joins the Admiralty? No, she's gonna take off with Book, and Brainier's gonna get the Enterprise or the Discovery. Enterprise wasn't even called Star Trek when it came out in 2001. Mark Lawrence, USS Enterprise 1701 AF. Hold on one second. There's no water in that. I've got to go get a drink, so I'll be right back, guys. So stay there. Stay. I'll be right back. Don't follow me. I'll be right back. Stay. The only one that listened was Lola. Sorry about that. I'm back. Feed Me Seymour says, was working out the USS Enterprise lettering. It's random. They get a new ship, but based on Enterprise A through G. By the time of the 32nd century, you would have either Enterprise X, Y, or Z. NCC 1701X. I like that one. Australia is not real. I think books of weirdos who telepathically communicate to animals while having a wank. Okay. Feed Me Seymour, roughly 3 letters per century on average. But obviously it's not a science, it's a rough average. The Atom, this is a problem in general for modern Trek. Not enough episodes per season, not enough time for character building when there's an arc-based plot where the galaxy needs to be saved. Yes. That's the other thing. Serialized storytelling. Episodic is much better for that kind of thing, building characters, because you can have episodes focused on one specific character. Serialized storytelling, you got to tell that goddamn story, and I think as a result, character development suffers. Fleetpaw says, I'm going to stop you right there. There is character building, but it's 1 or 2 characters as opposed to the entire ensemble cast. I wish they'd use their ensemble more and better. You say that, but go back and watch TOS. Do we get any information on Uhura? Nope. Do we get any information on Sulu? Not really. Any information on Chekhov? Nope. Scotty? Maybe a little. Yeah. Just saying. They don't have dedicated episodes to them. So. Zachary Gibbons. So let's talk to Foley's chair now. Chair, how do you feel this evening? I feel sat on. Australia's not real. I forgot what the bad chick's called, but she gives me Cleopatra 25 vibes. I have no idea what that is. A band, maybe? Punk band? Her name is Maul. Pleepaw, look at me. I'm the captain now. Oh shit, he's back. Hey, Foley. Give me Seymour. 23rd century Enterprise Original A and B. 24th century Enterprise C, D, E. 25th century Enterprise F and G. And I work guest H in the future. 26th. Yeah. I don't need to see the math. I don't need to see your work. Mark Lawrence, another segment where the Orville is nailing it. A few more episodes per season, but they're also longer, so more running time to character. Well, no, just Orville is fucking exquisite. We just finished watching Orville again, all 3 seasons, and oh my god, that's how Star Trek should be. The beauty shots of that ship, the character, that is peak Star Trek, and it's a shame. It is a shame that they didn't give Seth MacFarlane a Star Trek show. He asked for a Star Trek show multiple times, and they told him no. They didn't want him as a Star Trek showrunner. So what did he do? He went off and made the Orville, which I know a lot of people are going to be pissed at this, but it's better than any of the new Trek, aside from Prodigy and Lower Decks. It just is. Character development is on point. That's how you make an ensemble show. The writing on that show is fucking amazing. So, The Atom. TOS was all the Kirk, Spock, and McCoy show. Enterprise was mostly Archer, Trip, and T'Pol. Characters like Travis Mayweather barely got anything to do. Yeah, but at least Travis and Reed and, Trip, they all got their own episodes. Even Mayweather had like episodes where he met his family and they were basically all about him. That's how, yeah. Yes. Paul Hitchcock. When did Chekhov become a wonderkind? Wonderkind. Was that first made thing in Star Trek 09? No, it was in he was in TOS. He was super young. So Australia is not real. $2. I do like the acting of guy who plays number one. Yes. James Mustard, amen, Captain. Orville is exquisite. Exquisite, yes, it's a good way to put it. I'd forgotten how good Orville was until we watched it, and then I'm like, fuck me. This is how Star Trek should be. Like, the scene of Malloy and Mercer going to the Orville for the first time and going over the space dock, and is that it? Is that the ship? And then you see that ship, once they get on board, it leaves, you got the moon, and you see the ship, like, that's what Star Trek needs. Feed me Seymour. That being said, ISS Enterprise could be refitted. Yeah. Oh, yes, Orville is awesome. It is. It's fucking great. Fleet Paw, you're absolutely right, Stuart. TOS was mostly Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and the guest star of the week. Enterprise was mostly Archer, Tucker, and T'Pol, with occasional episodes featuring a supporting cast. DS9 and TNG and Voyager kind of used the ensembles to the best. DS9 was totally the best at it, followed by TNG. Yeah. Even the side admirals, like the admirals in Orville, get fleshed out. Yes. I think you mean fleshed out, not flushed out, because those are two totally different things. But yes. USS Orville has bathrooms. Yes, they do. Feed me Seymour. The Enterprise Z would be captained by Rainier, and I feel Burnham is going to die. Burnham's not going to die. For fuck's sakes. I have a feeling Burnham and Book are going to get back together and do their own thing and go off. She wants out of Starfleet. She cares more about Book, maybe. It's kind of leading towards that anyway. And Rainier, he serves as captaincy back. He's going to get the Discovery. Maddie says Orville is orgasmic. Yeah. It absolutely is. The Atom 159. Orville is superb. You can tell it's written by a hardcore Trekkie. Yeah. In one season, we knew the crew more than we knew Discovery's crew after 5 seasons. In fucking 4 episodes of Orville, we knew the crew better than we did in 5 seasons of fucking Discovery. Phoebe Seymour, when is the next AI, just AI episode? You don't have to AI ChatGPT. That's not what it is. But anyway, maybe next week. I don't know. We'll see. Probably next week, actually. Hold on 1 second. Gotta do the sand art thing. Da-da-da. There we go. And yeah, of course. It's that'll have to do, I guess. Yeah. Feed me Seymour. We knew the bridge of the Orville in episode 1 better than Discovery crew by episode 5 and 6. Yes. Terrence Childs, Captain, which one would you rather be married to? A Klingon female or a Romulan female or a Cardassian female? Probably a Romulan, just because they're the most attractive to me. That being said, there are some really attractive Cardassian females that we see in Deep Space Nine, so... And maybe they're more passionate? I don't know. Not Klingon, though. It's easy to say that. Unless it's Kalar, because, she was hot. But she was only half Klingon. But so was B'Elanna, and she was not hot, so... It's a good question. Hawk Stringfellow, Star Trek Hidden Frontiers is also better than New Trek. I like Prodigy because it's not a prequel. Yeah, exactly. Ozzy, you can do the Orville Dolly maneuver. Working 9 to 5. Commentary 101. Kurtzman needs to get fired. To political, and Discovery is just bad. Kurtzman does need to get fired, though. Feed me Seymour. Question, as I'm a bit confused. Have you seen the warp core engine room on Discovery? Is it Stamets lab, like it's integrated, or is there a lithium engineering room we haven't really seen? We have still not seen the main engineering room of Discovery. No. After 5 seasons, all we see is the spore room, which is adjacent to the engineering room, which we never see. Maddie Lynn, remember, Captain, Klingons have double of everything. No, they don't. That's the thing. They don't. They don't. They don't have 2 dicks. They don't have 2 vaginas. I mean, they got 2 holes, I guess, but so do it's they don't. They absolutely do not. But Discovery said that Discovery didn't literally say they have 2 dicks. They just showed somebody that was pissing 2 streams. That could be he had a Prince Albert piercing and took it out. It could be that he had altered himself to do that. They do not have 2 dicks. They have redundancies. Yes, they do. And if you look in the Star Trek medical manual that I have here, it's not mentioned that they have 2 dicks, because why would they? That's just fucking stupid. They do not have 2 of everything. I'm just saying. That would mean they would have 4 tits. They don't. They have 2 tits. So, no. Fuck Discovery for that, because they don't. They just don't. It's never been a thing. It's not a thing. So, Fleet Paw, someone's gonna die. I think having Burnham die at the end would complete her character's. No. No. Generation Productions. The issue I have with the ISS Enterprise is it's just a reskin of the Changing World just Enterprise, but the timeline doesn't add up. Exactly. And Tilly, I can't stand her. I love Tilly. She's adorable. Why was it refitted back to an earlier state from being TOS to Strange New Worlds to come back to Power TOS? Okay. Dan, it wasn't. Strange New Worlds is not Prime canon. Strange New Worlds is Discovery Universe. It's Discoverse. It is not Prime timeline. So it didn't look like that and then get converted into Kirk's, because we already saw the Cage version of it in season 2 of Discovery, where they did a flashback to the Cage, which happens like a year or 2 before Discovery season 2. And they actually showed the real Enterprise. So you can't tell me that it went from the real Enterprise to Pike's Enterprise in Strange New Worlds back to the real Enterprise for Kirk. It's a different fucking universe. It's fine. Feed me Seymour, because Stamets works on spores, so he is doing that in the warp core room, or is he in a separate room? And we just don't see the warp engine room. You don't see I've already fucking said this. You do not see main engineering of Discovery ever. That is the spore chamber room. That is adjacent to the engineering room. You can see engineering room through those doors. You occasionally see what looks like a glowing warp thing, but you never see it. So. We have seen the warp core, though. There you go. They have 4 penises. To quote Riker, 1 or both. Feed me Seymour. They have multiple holes, just saying that when they pee, it sounds like a recorder rendition of Stars and Stripes. Maddie Lynn, I knew that wasn't true. I just wanted to get your goat. Well, you did. Sorry, but that's one thing that'll make me rant hardcore, because that's just bullshit. Feed me Seymour. Wonder who took over Tilly and Burnham's shared quarters. Seen in season 1 disappeared soon after. Would have been cool. It belongs to Adira or something. probably does, because we have seen Adira's quarters in the Time Bug episode, and it looks exactly like, well, they would all look alike anyway, but yeah, that'd be cool. I believe that Adira has Tilly's and Burnham's shared quarters. Yeah, I think so too. Hawk says, I just say timey-wimey stuff to explain Discovery. No, it's just its own universe. It's fine. It's like the Kelvin verse, the JJ verse, the Disco verse, and the Prime universe. It's Prime universe adjacent. It's very close. It's fine. Generation Productions. Okay. Thanks for clearing that up, Stuart, because I was told that Strange New Worlds was canon. Well, that's not how you spell canon. Canon only has one N in the middle. That canon that you spelled is a weapon to the OGTOS timeline. But yeah, like you said, it didn't make sense overall. Never thought of that, but thanks. Yeah, it is. It Strange New Worlds is supposed to be before TOS. Yes, that's the plan. That's what they want to tell you, that it's Prime. It's just a visually rebooted Prime, which means it's not Prime then. Because every time we've seen Prime in Trials and Tribulations, in Relics, in a Mirror Darkly, every time we see TOS represented on the other Treks over the 50 years of Star Trek, they spent time, effort, and money and love to make it look like it should. It's a period piece. TOS is a period piece. Strange New Worlds is not. Strange New Worlds says, fuck that old aesthetic. This is what it looks like now. But it doesn't. So it's obviously not the Prime universe. And that's fine. It's just... it's fine. Commentary 101. What's your opinion on Discovery? I think it's insulting to Gene's vision of Star Trek, and it's too weird and political. I think it was a great premise. I just wish that there would have been post-Nemesis. If they had introduced the exact same looking ship, the Spore Tech, everything, but had it be after the movie Nemesis, no problem. But to shoehorn it in 10 years before TOS, no. And no. Visually, like everything about the ship, even the corridors, if you had put it post-Nemesis, I would have been like, that's pretty cool. Sure. Good job. Anyway. Joseph Barbato, even Prodigy has TOS look like TOS. Live logs and proper. 100% yes. You're absolutely right. And that shows care and attention and love and reverence for the original, because it is in fact a period piece. Strange New Worlds and Discovery is like making a World War II movie, but having like F-14 fighters. Actually, no, scratch that. Like making a Civil War movie and having like tanks instead of horses. And their explanation would be like, well, people don't really, horses don't look good on screen. So, instead of, like combing their coats and making them all pretty looking for the camera, we just put tanks in there because, it's a bad example. But anyway, yeah, it's fine. Discovery could have been far future to begin with. It would have been better received. Yes. If they'd started in the 32nd century, fuck yeah, would have been fine. Phoebe Seymour, who took over security on Discovery? First it was Landry, then Ash Taylor, then Non. But after Seed Vault episode, she left and nobody filled that role. That's a good question. That's why they never bring security down on any away missions. Should we bring security? No, we don't have any. I mean, no. Cultural contamination. It's a sacred planet. We don't want to disrupt it. And no, we don't want to antagonize Maul and Locke. Book knows them, so having security, there's always a reason to not bring security now, isn't there? It's because they don't have a fucking security office. That's why there's no security on board. Hell, Lower Decks paid excellent homage to TOS as well. Yeah, exactly. Serge, Kat, what are your thoughts on the new Helm and Con officers? I feel like it's weird not having Detmer Awashicum. It is weird not having them, and considering it's the final season, I wish they were there, even though I hate Detmer. But I still think she deserves to be there. It's a slap in the face, in my opinion, to do that now. Yeah, I mean, the Bajoran lady's fine. The new lady that was in this episode, who the fuck are you and why are you here? Go away. Not a fan. But the lady before that, fine. The best thing to come out of modern Star Trek has to be Lower Decks and Enterprise, if it's still considered modern, and kind of Strange New Worlds. Enterprise is not modern. Enterprise is still Golden Age of Trek, but yeah, the end of it. And Prodigy is better than Lower Decks for representing canon and prime timeline. So. Joseph Barbato, Strange New Worlds is like replacing the DeLorean in Back to the Future with a Tesla. Yes. Bryce and Nelson missing too. Well, they explain those though. Bryce, I forget where they said Bryce was, but he came back for that one episode where they did the flashback. And Nielsen is on the Enterprise or the Voyager J. Feed Me Seymour. Detmer died on the ISS Enterprise. It was not mentioned, but when flying home, it got destroyed and she died. Okay, they never said that, but I believe this to be true. It's like Poochie. He died on the way back to his home planet. The Atom. Enterprise is still Burnham era, not modern anymore. 100%, yes. Commentary 101. Let's be real. Burnham is the show at this point. It was always about Burnham, though. That's the thing. Project Achiever. Detmer's log. Stardate. I don't know. We have been limping along in a Mirror Universe Connie for 50 days. I wonder what the crew are up to. Hope we aren't missing any cool adventures. Had to kill Awashicum. Life support is at minimum. In order to make it back to Starfleet HQ storage, needed to only have one person on board. Rest in peace, Owa. You will be missed. Commentary 101. I forgot about Prodigy, not gonna lie. Hopefully you liked it, though. For me, the best treks, the best new modern treks are Prodigy, Lower Decks, Strange New Worlds, Picard, Discovery. Picard Season 3 gets a special slot up at the top, though, because they knew what to do. Yeah. Anyway, back to this episode, Labyrinths. It was all right. Could have been better. Could have been worse. Not too bad. Not too great. Not too awful. Just kind of Tune in tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a complete review and breakdown of that one. Scene by scene. It's always fun. Learn a lot. So, 51 of you here. Awesome. 45 likes. Also awesome. We got the 40 mark. Can we get to 50 though? Another 5 likes would be amazing. Yeah. The Atom, Prodigy, Lower Decks, Strange New Worlds, and the Orville are the best new treks. Well, yes. Yeah. If you're gonna go that route, it's Prodigy, Lower Decks, Orville, then Strange New Worlds. Sorry. Actually, Orville might be at the top. Orville, then Prodigy, then, yeah. Orville. Hawk Stringfellow, Picard Season 3 is the only full season of new Trek I watched from start to finish. There you go. Enterprise E wasn't War's fault. This is very true. Hashtag facts. The Atom, this week's disco is okay, but it really needs to be stepping it up at this point. Yes. Hawk says, I'll give you a like. You're awesome. Thank you, Hawk. Are you subscribed to Trekyards? Because this is on the Trekyards channel. I usually do these lives over on my personal channel which Fleetpaw will now share the link to my personal channel in the chat. So you can click on the link and go subscribe to my personal channel if you want more lives like this where it's just us hanging out. But thank you, Hawk. Much appreciated. Trek or not, is there a reason why Strange New Worlds is released on 4K physical media and Picard only released in standard Blu-ray? Not that I'm aware of, unless... No, not that I'm aware of. No, I don't know. Orville is my new Trek now. Yes. Mr. Captain 93. Good evening, Captain. Good evening, Captain. Captain, 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 Captain. And Fleetpaw, there's Captain Foley's personal channel link. So Hawk, Stringfellow, if you're not subscribed over my personal channel, what are you doing? Please go do that. I do lives over there. Late night lives like this all the time. Haven't done one in a little bit though, because I've been playing Helldivers and streaming that. But anyway, so yeah, Labyrinths is okay. It's not awful. It's for Discovery. It's pretty good. I mean, but they're suffering from the same thing they suffered from last season and the season before. First 2 or 3 episodes, really good. Get the this is what we're doing. Last episode or 2, really good. Probably, we don't know yet. But the middle gets a little bit stringy because it's like just stretching one story beat, and this season's better. This is not as stringy. It doesn't do this in the middle. It kind of just does a little one, not a like whoop. Last season was fucking awful for that. This season's not too bad because each puzzle piece was kind of an exciting thing. So you're stringing that along a little bit better during the course of the season. But I really wish they'd stop serialized storytelling with Star Trek. It doesn't need it. It's actually, it's not its element. As you can see with Strange New Worlds, going back to episodic, that's the way to do it. You can still have serialized elements that carry over, but stop with the serialized season-long arcs of one story. If you want to do serialized storytelling, do 3 to 4 episode stories. Enterprise season 4 did that. They had a few 2-parters, a few 3-parters, I think a 4-parter, but they were like mini movies essentially in the season instead of, yeah, it's still episodic. That's the way to do it. Don't fucking make one story 10 episodes. It's just, no story's that good. I'm sorry. This story they're telling now could have been wrapped up in 4 episodes and been really tight and really good. Yes. Then move on to something else. Generation Productions. Well, to be fair, I have not seen TNG, Voyager, Enterprise be on Blu-ray either, and would love to see that. TNG is on Blu-ray. Voyager and Enterprise is too. Enterprise is on Blu-ray as well. Voyager and DS9 are not. Trek or not, the writing on Disco lacks passion, I feel, which is why they focus on the end but run out of steam as they go. Yes. The Atom. First 2 were good. Episode 3 took it down a notch. Episode 4 was quite good. Mid-season was definitely had a bit of a lull. Enterprise season 4 did arcs perfectly. 3 episode arcs stories didn't outlive their welcome. Yes, 100%. Mr. Captain 93, did you think that they missed an opportunity tonight for Burnham being in a mental maze tonight? I mean, a la moron count to 10. A la Moraine count to 10. No, never want to hear that. Australia is not real, but feelings. You have to feel sorry for Burnham. She feels like she's not good enough for the job. I know. And that's been the theme this season. I was a mutineer. I didn't think I deserved to be in that chair. Da, 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 da. It's been mentioned a few times. Yeah. Anyway. I think I'm going to call it there, guys. We've finished talking about the episode fucking forever ago because there's not much to talk about. So had some good elements. They better pull out all the stops for the next 2 episodes, though, because I want 2 good episodes. I don't want it to be just the final episode that's good. who knows how they restructured it after they knew they were getting canceled and they actually filmed some extra stuff for it. I don't know, but hopefully we get a good payoff. That's all I can say. Mr. Captain 93, one of the greatest episodes of Trek ever came from a one-off episode, Strange New Worlds, TOS. Polish Scott, thanks, Cap, and good night, everyone. Yeah, I'm going to call it there. So please join me tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our complete review and breakdown, scene by scene. Those are the fun ones. We hit 50 likes, so thank you guys. That means a lot. That is really awesome. So appreciate that immensely. But yeah, join us tomorrow. Plus, we'll have our edited content out, our edited review of this episode in the early afternoon. And then, yeah, at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be doing our complete review and breakdown. So please be there for that and join us. And we'll see you then. So until then, I'm Captain Foley signing off. Bye, guys.